Hey there, ladies. Today I want to talk all about water weight or water retention, or sometimes it's known as inflammation weight, or just that puffy, bloated feeling that we get. I know I have certainly dealt with this for different reasons throughout my life, and I think most women listening can probably relate to this in some way, shape, or form. So I wanted to make this video to further explain what's happening, how big of an impact can water retention have on our health, what are the main causes of it, and then what are some things we can do to eliminate it if that's something that we're struggling with. Okay, so first of all, how big of an impact can this have on our health? Well, I know there are some ladies out there carrying around an extra 10, 15, 20 plus pounds of water on their body. And not only is this going to impact the way you look, the way your clothes fit, the number on the scale, it's also going to impact the way you feel. It can cause fatigue and sluggishness. So a lot of women too tell me that as they enter this perimenopausal and menopausal phase, that they're struggling with it a lot more than what they used to. So what are some of the causes of this? I would say one of the biggest causes is we are eating foods that our body does not like. We are ingesting foods that our body sees as a threat, that we are intolerant to, and our immune systems go into overdrive, and it rushes a bunch of fluids to the tissues of our body. So much like we would have swelling if we sprained our ankle or cut our finger, the same sort of response is going on throughout our entire body. So which foods are causing this inflammation? It can vary from person to person, but some of the more common foods that I see are dairy, soy, eggs, sugar, artificial sweeteners, and nuts. And so by eliminating these foods, a lot of women can drop, like I said, 10, 15 plus pounds of water weight. So the second reason that we have water weight is stress. And this can be either emotional or physical stress. And so once again, we have a cortisol response happening here, and cortisol is a steroid. And so it's gonna cause that water retention and kind of that puffy look about us. So if you're doing a lot of frequent high intensity workouts, or if you're doing a lot of long endurance cardio and you're noticing kind of a puffy, bloated feeling, or you're notice that you're gaining weight rapidly, it may be worth dialing down some of that exercise and focusing more on lower impact movement like walking, and see if you notice kind of a shedding of that puffiness or that water weight. And then also emotional stress can do the same thing. And so a lot of women notice that they go on vacation for a week or two and they come back and they actually have lost weight and they have a less puffy look about them. And that's because their emotional stress went down, their cortisol lowered, and they were able to kind of shed some of that extra inflammation. And then the third reason that we retain water is hormonal reasons. And so you may have noticed that throughout the month, your weight can fluctuate. And especially as we are entering perimenopause, we are becoming more estrogen dominant, and our progesterone levels are lowering. And so when we are in a state of estrogen dominance, we can hold on to extra water. So doing anything you can to try to lower that estrogen dominance can really help. So that would be paying attention to maybe eating foods that have estrogen hormones added to them. So some animal products and dairy and cheese sometimes have, and conventional meats a lot of times can have extra hormones added to them, or putting chemicals or skincare products on our body that have estrogen mimickers in them, or sometimes known as xenoestrogens, can raise our estrogen levels. Also, having too much body fat or not being at your ideal body composition can raise estrogen levels. Our fat carries estrogen, and so trying to get to a more ideal body composition sometimes can kind of help that dominant state. So, like I said, this is something that I have dealt with throughout my entire life for different reasons. And once I really took control of my stress and I eliminated some of those foods, I saw a huge decrease in water weight. So I would love to hear from you if this is something that you're struggling with, if you have further questions about it. There are a lot of reasons to retain water. I didn't cover all of them in this video, but I do feel like I covered the main three, which were foods that we're intolerant to, stress, and hormones. So I would love to hear from you if you have questions or comments about it. Thank you so much for listening, and we will talk to you soon.